will demonstrate how to run chi-square in Jamovi and SPSS. Let's first look at the Jamovi. You go to Analysis and go to Frequency. And here you have different categories. Notice there is one chi-square goodness of fit. And that's one type of chi-square test. But for this class, for this example, we will use chi-square test association because we are looking at the association between two categorical variables. We click on that, you will see this, and we put poverty, the independent variables to rows for better poverty. And then we put dependent variable smoker in column. And then for test, we check chi-square or chi-square for continuity correction because we have 2x2 table, so we could check on that. And then for hypothesis, we don't assume one group has a higher percent of smoker than the other, so we check the two-tailed test. And then for the effect size, we could check the phi and Kramer V. And then for discrete statistic, we check observed counts, expected counts, and row, column. So before we decided whether we should use Fisher's exact, we need to look at the expected counts. So all the expected counts, they are larger than 5. Therefore, we do not need the Fisher's exact test. And then now let's look at the discrete statistic. So for within row, mean within below poverty women, they are 50.4% are current smoker, compared to 41.6% women in above poverty, which is almost like 10% higher. However, whether it's statistically significant, we need to look at the chi-square test. So the chi-square value, when there is continuity correction, which is 4.87, and p-value 0.027, so which is smaller than 0.05. Therefore, we could reject null hypothesis and conclude there are significant difference between below poverty and above poverty women in terms of the proportion of current smokers. Now, let's look at SPSS. SPSS, and we use the same tab. We created cross tab. You need to go to discrete statistic, and also it's an inferential statistic. You go click on cross tab and put on poverty and column in each column, each bracket. And then for statistic, check on chi-square and effect size phi. And then for the others, we don't need to check for this class. And let's click on continue. And for cell, always observe expected, because expected, even we don't report expected, but this information help us to decide whether we should look at Fisher's exact test or not. So now continue, and you can see the output are similar. And for chi-square test results, even you didn't check that, but it gave you all the situation. Pearson chi-square value 5.2. That's when there is no continued correction. And when there is a correction, the number is slightly different, and you look at the p-value, which is the same as the output from Jamovi. So in the situation, expected cell is smaller than 5, and the p-value is 0.025. That's how you report it. For effect size, and as you know that the magnitude effect is different from p-value. So p-value only tell you that how likely what you observed could occur and when the null hypothesis is true. And the magnitude difference is the strength of for intermal association. And sometimes even p is very small, but it doesn't mean that the effect size is big. You could refer to the cutoff value provided textbook in it interprets this value, whether it's big, medium, or small effect size.